Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here with World Class Wrestling Alliance President Matt Bernaiche, and this is going to be his first sit-down interview in front of the camera to just talk a little bit about our company here. I'll be asking him a couple questions about the beginnings of WCWA and maybe a couple of the wrestlers of WCWA. We'll see how far along we get today. But Matt, if you just want to fill us in, how exactly did WCWA start?
WCWA started kind of in a weird sort of a way. I was given the opportunity because I had to do a business plan presentation for a entrepreneurship class I was taking in high school. And what ended up happening was it was so good that the teacher's like, you just need to add some financial information in here and this would be good to go. So I was talking to one of my friends, Kyle Carrier, about it one day in a study hall, and we decided, you know what, let's do something with this. So actually we started meeting at my house every Saturday in the afternoons with a bunch of guys to just train and work out and do all sorts of fun stuff and with wrestling. And then I'm just right place, right time, met a guy who had a ring in his backyard in Plainville, and we called him up and said, hey dude, can we come by and get in your ring and wrestle? And then he said sure, and we met up with a trainer named Chan Moody who showed everybody that he could the ropes, and we just went with it. And by next thing I knew, July of '05, we had our first show, and off to the races we went.
Alright, so you mentioned Kyle Carrier. Who else helped you start with the with this idea?
A guy that's not working with us right now, Mike Pierce. He's in Ohio at college. Couple other guys like Joe Fernandez. Basically all guys I went to school with that liked wrestling and wanted to learn about the business, and you know, and other people came along because of Kyle Carrier and other people that we worked with.
All right, so you were telling me a little bit of a story before we started rolling, that you actually got your start wrestling with your friends in this room that we're doing the interview in. So any kind of stories about wrestling here in your house on this, you know, cement floor with a carpet over it?
Where do I begin? Oh my God, there's so many stories that unless I was there, I would never have believed happened. First off, this room isn't big to begin with. And we would clear everything out of here, and we just, before we knew a lot, we would just beat the crap out of each other on Saturday afternoons because it was something to do. Let's see, we've had people be, by mistake, put through walls. We've had, let's see, we've broken like 2 or 3 couches because people decided they were going to jump off it. Then, you know, there's been interesting times here. One thing we did, because we used to tape it all, and now I can't find all the tapes. I wish I could. There was one thing we did where we did the dumbest match I've ever heard of, called the Freeze Your Balls Off match, where the main idea, stick with me, the main idea was to wrestle until you were stripped naked and almost naked and in the snow. And you were almost like frozen. Don't ask me why. I never sanctioned any of those matches, if you want to call it that. But basically, the early days of WCWA were just me and my buddies meeting here to just have fun, you know, watch wrestling, wrestle a little bit, and see what we knew, what we didn't know, and then the next phase was really meeting the guy in Plainville with the ring. That was when things really started to change, really started to take shape. But there's so many stories, and Vince will be doing interviews with other guys who I'm sure will tell you a ton of stories. I have a couple personal ones because I decided that I was gonna wrestle, if you want to call it that, once or twice. And one time that I wrestled here, I got my face implanted into the carpet, had my head basically sliced open and rug burn and all sorts of fun stuff. But you know what? Those days, when I look back at it, those days were some of the greatest days we ever had. I mean, you talk to us now and it's like, it's amazing to me how far we've come since those days. A lot of people didn't think I'd do it. Kyle Carrier will tell you himself he didn't think I'd do it. But I always told him, if you follow me, I'll take you there. And that's where we are now.
Awesome. So, one of the big people in the company now is your current heavyweight champion, Kevin Landry. So how did you meet Kevin, and how did he end up being involved with WCWA?
How I met Kevin was, as he'll tell you, was kind of a gutsy beginning on my part, because I met him at a CCW event down in either New Haven or Bridgeport, one of those two. And I was looking for a ring to rent for the second show that I was ever going to put on. And he decided, somebody told me when I was there that he rents rings out. So Kevin and I did a deal with the ring, and that's how that started. And then he was gracious enough when I asked him to teach me everything that he possibly could teach me about the business. He took me under his wing and said, you know what, I'll teach you everything I know, you just got to be willing to listen. But people thought it was really gutsy of me to, you know, offer myself up to be taught everything I could.
So from there, that was what, 2005 or 2006?
That was... I started talking to him probably early in 06. Or if my memory serves me right, maybe late 05. Mid to late 05, early 06.
And how many shows did you put on in 2006?
2006 we did... I think we did like one or two. I think we did like two.
So 2007 is really when, you know, you started doing a lot more shows now?
Yeah, because we did Frostbite, which has just come out on DVD.
Plug.
Shameless plug, sorry. Then we did a show, I believe, in May called Ambush, which also is available on DVD. Another shameless plug. Then we have, then we did the show that nobody really in this company talks about. And that was in August of 07.